Hey everyone, how is it going? We are live here on the Technicolor Mike B Show with another design for animals A to Z. Today we are up to M is for mouse. Yes, M is for mouse. And when I think of the mouse, there are two mice from pop cultures that come to mind: Mickey Mouse and Jerry from Tom and Jerry. So yeah, let's start with Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is a cartoon character created back in 1928 by the Walt Disney Company, and he has appeared in over 130 films. I think he is probably the world's most famous mouse. So yeah, what do you know about this Mickey Mouse fella? Well, he was created as a replacement for Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. No, I don't think I know anything about this Oswald character, but apparently Oswald was created by the Disney Company for Universal Pictures, and they wanted to have a character that was their own, so they went on and replaced Oswald with Mickey Mouse. The first film released with Mickey Mouse was Steamboat Willie back in 1928, and that wasn't really the first movie the Disney Company had made for Mickey Mouse, but it was the first one released. Steamboat Willie is especially notable for being the first cartoon with synchronized sound, as well as the first cartoon to feature a fully post-production soundtrack. So yeah, like I said, Steamboat Willie was not Mickey Mouse's real first movie. He was originally created for the movie Plain Crazy. It was the first film created starring Mickey Mouse, but they couldn't find a distributor for that film when it was ready for release, and that became the fourth Mickey Mouse movie that was released by the Disney Company. So it took them a little bit of time, and once people saw how successful the Steamboat Willie character was, yeah, it was a little bit easier to sell the Mickey Mouse concept to other distributors to distribute the movie. And I was reading up on some of the history of Mickey Mouse and the design, and I think everyone today knows like the whole Mickey Mouse head is like a hidden Mickey. There's symbolism for the Mickey Mouse design all over Disney World, and it's the big circle for his head and the two circles for his ears. And they originally created that circular body form just to make it easier for them to do the animation of the design. I guess circles were an easier shape. And Mickey Mouse is also a character that is always seems to be drawn wearing gloves. That was another... His body was largely black. He wore red shorts, and if they had done his hands in black, if he's holding his hands in front of his body, you wouldn't see them. So by putting gloves on his hands, you could see his hands a little better. So it was all about visibility, but he became like the first animated character that had the gloves that Bugs Bunny and a bunch of other animated characters went on to have that same sort of design treatment of wearing white gloves. And they said that during some of the time period of production of different Mickey Mouse movies, his ears were animated so that as he turned his head, the circles changed shape, but eventually they decided, his ears are a distinct characteristic. People will recognize him in the movie if his ears always stay round. So they sort of changed the animation so that his ears would always be round. Whichever way his head was facing, you'd see two round circles above his head. You don't know what we're making. Probably a cat. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What color? Yeah, so it was an interesting read about the history of Mickey Mouse and some of the evolution that the character had as far as the drawings were concerned, and how his body sort of took on a different shape from the early circle form to be a more realistic looking character. And like I said, the other mouse that I always think of is the mouse Jerry from the Tom and Jerry series. So yeah, Tom and Jerry, not quite as old as Mickey Mouse. They were created in 1940. Mickey Mouse, like I said, was 1928. And Tom and Jerry were created by the animation duo of Hanna and Barbera. They have a lot of children's cartoons credited to their name. So they created Tom and Jerry in 1940. In its original run, Hanna and Barbera produced 114 Tom and Jerry shorts for MGM between 1940 and 1958. The first short starring Tom and Jerry was Puss Gets the Boot, which featured a cat named Jasper and an unnamed mouse. According to some of the documents that I read, said that in pre-production the mouse was named Jinx, but that name didn't last, and it was never actually mentioned, I guess, in the original movie. It was released into the theater circuit on February 10th, 1940. Their second Tom and Jerry cartoon, The Midnight Snack, in 1941. And interestingly enough, the Tom and Jerry pair duo, their series, their cartoons, won more Academy Awards than any other character-based theatrical animated series. And Tom and Jerry, the two characters rarely speak in their cartoon. And one of the articles I was reading, they said that they asked Barbera about that, and he said that there was really no discussion about the characters not speaking. But since he grew up in the era of silent movies and films starring Charlie Chaplin, that they knew that they could make the characters fun and funny without having a lot of dialogue to worry about. And yeah, I grew up watching Tom and Jerry, and one of the critiques I was reading about it is that they are a little bit more violent since it's a cat chasing a mouse, and it really seems to be there's no holds barred when it comes to what they will do to foil the other. So yeah, so Tom and Jerry and Mickey Mouse are probably the two mice characters I would think of most often. There are other mice characters in pop culture. There's Mighty Mouse, Pinky and the Brain, Fievel Moskowitz. Oops, that cheek wasn't supposed to pop like that. But we could replace that balloon. Grab another. Too bad I don't have a scrap. Oh, I do have a scrap lying around. See if this is any good. So what do you call a mouse that doesn't eat, drink, or even walk? Well, that would be a computer mouse. Yes, your computer mouse doesn't eat, drink, or walk on its own. What is a mouse's favorite kind of cheesecake? Oh, kind of cake. Who gave the answer away? The mouse likes cheesecake. Can you blame it? What kind of animal needs oil? Well, that would be the mouse because it squeaks so much. Let's see which marker did I use? See if I do this without popping the balloon. So here is our cartoony mouse standing up on 2 feet. Yes. This is like the interesting thing about cartoon characters, that they don't have to worry about looking like an animal. They can look more like a human. So this was today's design sketch for today's mouse face paint design. And yeah, we're halfway through the alphabet. What is going to come next? So until next time, see you later. Alligator. After a while, crocodile. Thanks for watching.